Hey Stampers, it's Madeline from stampinwithmadelyn.com, the Wonderland stamper. Today we are using this adorable set, Bird Banter. As soon as it released, this was definitely a fan favorite, and I couldn't wait to play with it. So instead of doing a celebration set, I wanted to show you this. So this is available in the Occasions catalog until the end of May. So you can get it on my online store right away. My online store is available 24/7. Right down below is the link over to my blog, stampinwithmadelyn.com, and all the links for the shop, social media, and to connect with me are all over there. So don't miss out on going over there. Okay, so today we are going to be doing a very special card. This is called a Starburst card, and I saw cards similar to this when I was scouring around Pinterest, which if you don't use Pinterest already, you should. It has loads of ideas for different cards, and you get stuck on there for hours. So definitely set yourself a time limit. I have a page over there. You can go over to my blog and click on the Pinterest button, and you can get right over and see all the cards that I have saved, including some of the ones that I've created that are attached to the blog posts where I teach you how to make them. But anyways, I saw this over on Pinterest. A demonstrator, Chris Slogar, made it a few years ago with this technique, the Starburst technique, and I took it over and used it for a different, whole different look. Just wanted to teach you the technique. So again, this is the Starburst technique. I've had a lot of questions, and I've brought this up in my past videos. A lot of customers and myself don't really know what to do with our gorgeous DSP when we get it, and I want to make different cards and different projects using the DSP in different ways, and I thought this was a perfect way. So for the stamp set, I'm using Bird Banter. I'm also using the Designer Series paper from the Petal Palette suite, and it's gorgeous paper. This is the perfect paper to use with our Stampin' blends. So I've done, if you go over to my Stampin' Sunday where I did Petal Palette, and also my blog post for that week, I did a lot of using this Designer Series paper and using the Stampin' blends to color it. I'm not going to be coloring it in today. I'm just going to be teaching you how to make this Starburst technique. All right, so first I did a lot of prep beforehand that I want to show you what I did. I am using 2 pieces of cherry cobbler. One is 3 3/4 by 5, so it's a little bit smaller. And then one is a little bit bigger. It is 4 by 5 1/4. So this is all in inches. And what's going to happen is we're going to be attaching all of this Starburst Designer Series paper to the smaller one. And then you cut off all the excess and attach it to the bigger one. All the dimensions and supplies will be over on my blog as soon as this video is up and live. So make sure to click down below to get all the details. I used our layering circles and used the cloud framelets to get a basic black circle. And then I used our stitch shaped framelets, which you will see probably in every one of my Stampin' Sundays. I love this set. They have circles, ovals, and squares all in one set. So I did that in I think it was the second to largest circle in Whisper White. Okay, and then this is where there's a lot of different dimensions, so this will all be over on my blog. I did 2 pieces, so this is all the Petal Palette Suite Designer Series paper. I did 2 pieces that were 2 by 1.5 inches. I did 2 pieces that were 3 by 1.5 inches. 1 piece that's 4 by 1.5, and then 1 piece that's 4.5 by 1.5. Okay, so that's what you're going to need. I'm using Memento Black because I'm going to be coloring in these cute hearts with our Stampin' Blend Dark Cherry Cobbler, and Memento is the only ink that you can use with those. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to do is you need to map out on your small piece of cherry cobbler. So I'm working with the 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece of paper. We need to measure a little cross here where all of these pieces are going to meet. So all the corners will conjunct around one spot. Okay, so there is an easy way to do this. If you have a grid like I do, you're mapping out From the left, 1.5, okay? So from the left here, we're going to go 1.5, okay? And just mark it here. And then we're going to go 1 3/4 from the top, okay? So I'm going to go, this is how I did it, and it makes, I think it's opposite of what they said on this, but it worked for me. So 1 3/4, so 1 3/4, and mark it here. Okay, and then these two are going to conjunct, okay? So I just used, like, I eyeballed it, but it's up to you, whatever you want to do. It works out, so don't overthink it. It will, once you get all the paper on here, it'll work out perfectly. Okay, next I have all these little pieces of designer series paper. Now, you could hand cut this, but I am reliant on my Stampin' trimmer. So this is something I can't ever not use during my crafting. This is just so that you get nice straight edges. So all of these papers we're actually going to be cutting in half. So I'm going to line up corner to corner in the slit where it gets cut for all of these pieces, because hand cutting it for me would take so much time, and I don't think that it would be very accurate, and it will definitely show up in your card if these papers aren't cut nice and straight from corner to corner. So I'm just going through and making them all into little pie slices. So lining it up in the slit and cutting it. And it's okay if you're a little off, because again, the center of this card is going to be covered with our cute little birdies, and the edges are cut that are hanging off the side. So try to be as perfect as you can with this, but again, don't worry about it if it's not totally exact. It won't mess up your card. There are so many different cards that you can make with this Bird Banter set. This is just one of them. And I will be doing a 30-second, either 30-second Tuesday or 30-second Thursday. I haven't decided, where I'm going to show you a quick card that you can make in 30 seconds using the Bird Banter kit. So don't miss out on that. All right, so now that our cutting is all done, we have all of our pieces here, and we're going to get our small piece of cherry cobbler that we've marked the little X on. So this is when you're going to start layering out your pieces, okay? So we're going from that cross and we're laying out. So you will have 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom that are the same, and it won't matter, because when everything is said and done and it's all put together, it still looks super cute. Here is my recommendation though. You want to do this so that any edges that are hanging off, like you don't want any corners. So I wouldn't want to put this like this so that there's empty space there. I want to put it so that all of that is cut off. And you'll have to play with these, because I work with the smaller ones and then go back and do the larger ones, is what I did. And all of this will be adhesive, so I'm just playing around with this to make sure that it all fits the right way. And that's what I recommend for you, is just to lay it all out and then decide whether you want to make any changes or not. Okay, so as you saw, I did have to play with it a little bit to make sure that everything fit in the way that I wanted it to. Now I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on the tips of all of these to set it down. On your bigger pieces, you can put more adhesive so that you know for sure that it's definitely adhesive down correctly. So I'm going to speed this up. It's just going to be me putting adhesive on everything. Okay, So now that I have them all adhesive down, you could see that I did a little bit of movement just to make sure there was not too much red showing in between each one, and all of that will get covered. So it's okay if you move some around and they're not exactly coming out from that cross. It'll still look perfect when we put our oval or our cloud circle and our stitch circle over the top of this. So now we are going to cut off using scissors all of this adhesive that's hanging off. Okay, once that is all cut off, then you're going to attach this to the bigger piece of cherry cobbler just to make it look nice and neat. And this is just going to be a card front, so this can be attached to a card base that is 4 1/4 by 11. Okay, and this looks like it needs a little bit more adhesive, so I'm going to put a little piece underneath there. There we go. Now I'm going to put my cloud exactly where I want it, and I'm just using regular adhesive for this part. Okay, now we're going to do our stamping with the cute little birdies. Okay, so I have my stitched circle, and this is using photopolymer stamps, so you will need a pierce mat. I have just a paper towel down because I will go off the page a little bit. So I'm going to use Memento ink, and we're making this design here. I took the branch from the stamp set and straightened it out, and I'm just going to be using the end, so I don't need the leaves inked up at all, just the branch here. And I'm going to do it pretty low on this circle. Okay, now we're going to do one of the birdies. Okay, so there's 2 birdies in this set that look identical. They're just switched which way they're facing. So we're going to line up the little feeties on the branch. There we go. And then we're going to do the next bird. And I just want their beaks touching. This is a really cute Valentine's Day card you could quickly make. Or just a cute card for a birthday, for your special someone. I just love the little birdies. They are so stinking cute. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to do the heart from this set. So I'm going to put one really close to them, so right above their beaks. Okay, and then I'm going to do 2 more. So I'm just going to change the angle of it. There we go. Okay, so now that we have that done, you could color the birdies in fully if you wanted to, but I chose not to. I just wanted to do the hearts to give it a focus, and I left the birds the way they were, but it's totally up to you. So I'm just going to color in these hearts. I'm using the dark cherry cobbler Stampin' blend. These are great alcohol markers. We have so many colors that you can pick from. You can get the whole set. All the supplies will be over on my blog from this video, and I'll put the link for these so you can check them out. They're awesome. They're great just to color with. They're dual tipped, so one is a paintbrush side, the one we're using right now, and one is a bullet side, so it's much easier to control in a small space. You can blend with these. They're just absolutely stunning. But this, just for simple coloring, works out great too. All right, so we've got our hearts colored in, and now we're going to put this onto our little black oval. So I'm going to use mini dimensionals for this. I do want it to be a little bit higher up than the rest of the card. So I'm just putting 3 mini dimensionals and doing 3 rows of them on here. You could use regular size dimensionals. It's totally up to you. I just had these on hand, so that was what I grabbed. Oh. Okay, and then they have a little paper backing that you're just peeling up once you know it's stuck down to your Whisper White side. Center it on here. Make sure it's where you want it. And there we go. There is the Starburst technique of how to give it that Starburst design using designer series paper. And every time you make it, it may look a little bit different. Like this one is a little bit different than this one, but that's what I love. Every card looks a little bit different, And that's the creativity that we're trying to accomplish with Stampin' Up! So I hope you liked this video. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to hit the red subscribe button. I will be increasing my videos during the week now, so stay tuned during this week for the new videos that'll be coming up. Thanks so much for watching, and for now, keep stampin', Stampers. Bye!